Now for question number 4, a ball X moves along the horizontal frictionless surface and collides with another ball Y. So this is the ball X and this is ball Y, and they strike at this point. This is basically before collision. Now after collision, this is the velocity that X is here and Y is the leading ball. So the ball mass is 0.02 x and y for 0.2 kg, and the velocity is 6 meters, and the angle of both is 60 degree. So calculate the time, calculate to three significant figures. The component of initial momentum of the ball y that is perpendicular to the line AB. So this is the line AB. So the initial momentum of this ball, that is this ball. So this ball depends on, as we know that momentum equals to P equals to M into V. Now there is a two parameters. So the mass basically is 0.2, 0.2, and the velocity is 6. But they are making some angle. This angle that is perpendicular to line AB. So the perpendicular
और
basically,
साइन हो जाएगा साइन 6.
yes, sine 60 degree.
अच्छा, जब हॉरिजॉन्टल है तो मतलब वो क्या कहते हैं उसको कॉस, और जब परपेंडिकुलर है तो मतलब वो
Perpendicular means that is, this is the line and this must be perpendicular. So this perpendicular is basically is the f sine theta, and the horizontal and the second component. Now this perpendicular line is basically is perpendicular to this line, that is AB, this force. So this is the line AB, and the perpendicular force must be this one. So this is basically sine of 60 degree angle. So now please find the value.
सर आ रही है ये 1.04 kg meter per second.
1.04
kg meter per second.
kg meter per second. Now the next is question number 2. By part 2, by considering the component of initial momentum of each ball perpendicular to line AB, calculate the three significant figure of the Vx. So what is basically Vx? So now the momentum basically is, now what is the Vx? So Vx is the velocity of this one, that is velocity of this particle. This is unknown. You have to find. So how to find? As P equals to mv, P equals to m into v. Now the momentum we calculated is 1.02, sorry, 1.04, I think, equals to, what is the mass? Mass of x is 0.3, 0.3. Now 0.3 into Vx, and there must be, this is basically the perpendicular with respect to this one. So it must be
3.5 आ रही है.
V
3.5
V
meter per
sine
second.
60 degree.
Oh,
Sine 60 degree, because it must be, when I am taking this particle as perpendicular, so I also take this perpendicular as positive. So V of x equals to 1.04 divided by 0.3 into sine 60 degree. So what will be the value?
4 आ रही है.
So this value Vx equals to 4 meter per second. Now part 3. Show that the speed of two balls after collision. After collision means this one. Now I am taking this as my system. After collision, this velocity. So I have to show that the velocity after collision equals to 2.4. So how to show it? So momentum, basically we know that final initial momentum equals to final momentum according to law of momentum. So this must be described in two ways. That mv and mass of first is 0.3. Now two things.
सर आई थिंक मुझे लगता है कि 1.04 प्लस वो क्या कहते हैं उसको my
No,
equals
yes, yes. Just a minute. No, no, no. Basically now, Abdullah, this is a horizontal velocity. So I have to make horizontal also the horizontal velocity for these one. Is this clear or not?
yes sir.
So this must be for this one, it must be 0.3 for x. The velocity we calculated equals to 4. Now this component is the base equals to cos of angle 60 degree plus second one
हाँ जैसे कैसे
0.2 into 6 multiplied by cos 60. This is the initial momentum equals to the final momentum. Final momentum equals to the mass, that is 0.3 plus 0.2, the mass, and having same velocity, that equals to v. Is this clear? Is this clear or not?
जैसे कैलकुलेट करता हूँ जल्दी से let me do
Yes,
it.
yes, yes, yes. So this value must be 0.3 into v into 4 into cos 60 plus 0.2 into 6 into cos 60 equals to v. Then this must be divided 0.3 plus 0.2. Kindly calculate it.
2.4 आ रहा है इसका.
So the velocity equals to 2.4
हाँ हो गया सर शो हो गया ये
meter
तीसरा हो
per
गया शो.
second. So this is the end of this question. So for next one, this is basically no 4b1. Now these are the two methods. Strike with the spring of spring constant, that is 72 Newton per meter. So E equals to half kx. So determine the maximum compression of the spring caused by the two balls. Now the caused by the two balls maximum compression depends on the kinetic energy. So kinetic energy equals to half mv square. So what the mass is, it's equals to half mv square. So
दोनों
what will,
का सर कंबाइंड होगा मैथ्स क्या फिर
yes, yes, yes. So
0.5 I think
so
0.5
first for first one the velocity is given, and the second one basically the maximum compression is not given. So it equals to, I am comparing two values. Half first mass is 0.5 and the velocity given for first one is 2.4. So it must be mass equals 0.5 into velocity 0.2.4 equals to half. Now the second is 72. This is tensile force, and the second is the compressive force, which we have to calculate. I am taking as x, so it must be x square. So velocity, this is half mv square. Is this clear
तो
or
मतलब
not?
कंप्रेशन जो है हम लोग एक्सटेंशन को ढूंढ रहे हैं.
Yes, yes, yes.
तो 1.44 जाउल जो मैंने जो ई के निकाला था वो इसी के लिए यूज होगा क्या?
Yes, yes, definitely.
चले फिर सर, just second, let me finish it.
Basically, it's the half mv square equals to half k. This is 72 is the k, and this is the x, that is compression. Is this clear?
Yes sir.
Okay, okay.
0.2 आ रहा है सर इसका x के वैल्यू.
Yes, x equals to 0.2.
अब ग्राफ्स ड्रॉ करने होंगे.
Now, the magnitude of deceleration of a ball. So, basically, is the magnitude of deceleration, that is a, of the ball. So, how to find magnitude of, basically is it must be like that, because
It,
uh, acceleration is directly proportional to the magnitude, that is the distance covered. Second is the kinetic energy of ball. Now,
kinetic energy.
basically
I
kinetic energy is the energy within the mass of the body. So
the
there
square
must
is
be there must
directly
be
proportional to the square of x, I think.
Yes. So this value is always, there is some positive value always in the body. So this graph must be start from the little upward. So this
Yes.
must have this type of graph. Is this clear?
Exponentially मतलब.
Yes, yes. These are basically standard exponential graphs.
Yes.
Now question number 5. So define coherence and interference. So coherence means constant phase difference, and interference is the sum, addition, or basically of the displacement of overlapping of waves. So
Uh,
is basically coherence is just the constant phase difference. This is the standard definition of this. Constant phase difference. And what about the interference? Interference is the
sum of trough and crest.
yes, basically sum of the are basically the displacement,
Oh.
because in x-axis there is a distance and the y-axis there is displacement. Have you remember?
Yes sir, I know that.
Displacement of overlapping waves. Now for the question number 2 is, these are basically narrow beam of states of second order, zero order, and maximum second order and minimum second order. And this is must be a laser light. This is diffraction grating and having angle 51 degree. And the diffraction grating of length is 6.7 into 10 to the power 5 per meter. Determine the wavelength of light. So how to find the wavelength of light? As the standard formula is n lambda equals to d sine theta. So we have to find the lambda. So lambda must be d sine theta upon n. So what the d is? D is basically d is now what the value of, first we have to find the value of theta. So value of theta is 51. So it must be sine 51. Now, the second thing is the d, value of d. So the d is now number of lines per unit length. So what is the basically number of lines per unit length is the value of n. So n
And
equals
yeah.
to 1 upon d. So this value basically, so d equals to 1 upon n. D equals to 1 upon n. So it must be, this formula must be sine theta capital N into n. Is this clear or not?
Yes, sir.
What the value of n is 6.7 into 10 raised power minus, so 10 raised power 5 into what the value of n is. N basically is the order. This, the order given is second order. So n equals to 2. So kindly find the value.
और D की सर क्या वैल्यू थी?
D value. D basically, D is nothing. D equals to, now the given is number of lines n. So n equals to 1 upon D and D equals to 1 upon n. So putting the value of D in the equation. So basically the given is n, not the value of D. Is this clear?
Yes, sir. तो मतलब बस D की 1 आएगी सर.
No, Abdullah. D की वैल्यू जो है वो मुझे नहीं गिवन. हमें मुझे गिवन है n
Okay.
की वैल्यू. हमें पता है n इक्वल्स टू 1 अपॉन d. ये फार्मूला लिखा है
Yeah.
मैंने इतना बड़ा.
तो मतलब इसके अलावा मतलब सिर्फ यही लिखना है इसके बाद बस sin 51 upon.
उसके बाद ये फार्मूला बनता है, देखो d इक्वल्स टू 1 अपॉन n. सो पुटिंग d इक्वल्स टू 1 अपॉन n, तो sin थीटा अपॉन n, कैपिटल N, that is number of lines per length, into n, that is order of length. अब क्लियर है?
Yes, sir.
सो d की वैल्यू 1 अपॉन n होती है. तो n गिवन है मुझे 6.7 10 to the power 5 and n equals to 2. Kindly find the value. Hurry up.
5.8 into 10 raised to power minus 7 meter.
Okay, 5.8.
छोटी इतनी छोटी वैल्यू आ सकती है ना सर?
Yes.
Check if I'm doing it right now.
Basically, wavelengths are also in negative because these are the values in micromillimeters. So now, second question number 2 is 5.2. State and explain the change, if any, distance between the second order on the screen when the light from the laser is replaced by light of stronger, shorter wavelength. Now the light of laser is replaced by light of shorter wavelength. What will be the is the distance?
Distance will decrease.
Now corresponding to second order. So this is basically second order. There must be smaller angle. The angle must be smaller. Smaller angle. And shorter distance. These are the 2 points: smaller angle and the shorter distance. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the end of the question number 5. Now for question number 6. The battery of EMF 12 volt is to be used in here, and the two resistance. So the resistance is 28 ohm, and the lamps are connected with the junction J and the resistance of junction at Y. So the current in the battery is 0.50 ampere, and the current in the lamp is 0.20. So
The
the
resistance of each lamp, sir, ये तो दोनों तो मतलब दोनों lamps की same resistance है ना फिर?
So how to find the resistance?
V
What is
R
it?
equals to V upon I.
Yes, V equals to IR and R equals to V upon I. Yes, you are correct. So what the value? So for the first one, it must be the 12 upon 0.20. So it must be, calculate the value.
60 ohm.
60 ohm. Now this is divided by 2 because these are split into two. So this must be 30 ohm. Or second method is R equals to VSL. Now putting the value of I equals to lamp. Now each lamp is volt V is 6 and the I is 0.20. Is this clear?
जी sir.
So the R equals to 30 ohm for this. These are the two methods to find the value of R. This is the
Yeah.
first one. This is second method to find the value of R.
से दोनों मतलब दोनों लैम्प्स की सेम है वो कह सकते
Yes,
हैं
yes,
कि
yes. Each lamp की
रेजिस्टेंस.
same है.
हाँ पास सर क्वेश्चन से रीड नहीं किया था मैंने.
Now this is the end of the question. Now for the question number uh, for the A2, since we have to find the resistance. So how to find the simple resistance as I equals to there must be drop in total current. I equals to total is 0.50. There must be some drop, that is 0.20 drop is here. So the total current will be 0.30 ampere. Now resistance. Now the second is given as 28. Second resistance equals to 28. This value, now this is basically the value of R. Now the value is V, that is 12. Basically V equals to IR. The formula used is R equals to VI upon V, and the V is nothing but it equals to 0.30. So R equals to 12 upon 0.30 minus the value that is 28. Is this clear?
यस सर जरा मैं ये कॉपी कर लूँ.
So this is equals to, I calculated that it's equals to approximately 12 ohm. The answer is 12 ohm. Have you done?
No, 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 not yet. हो गया सर.
Okay. Now, for the next part, calculate the ratio. No, just a minute. This is
पोटेंशियल
the part.
डिफरेंस नहीं किया.
Yes, yes. Determine the potential difference between point X and Y. So how to find the potential difference? P equals to VI. So what is the value of potential difference across X? So we just calculate that it's equals to VI. V equals to 0.20 into 30. So this value equals to 0.6. So 6 volt, and the potential difference across Y equals to, now the Y equals to 0.30 into value of R is 12. So it equals 12 into this is 3.6. So the Vxy, that is the potential difference at xy, equals to P at x minus P at y. So this must be 6 minus 3.6. So it must be 2.4 volt. Is this clear?
यस सर, let me copy.
Okay. Now, for the next part, see, calculate the ratio. So, how to find the ratio? Total power displayed by the lamp by total power. Now, how to use? We have to differentiate or ratio. Find the ratio between the powers. So, the power basically you can use any formula. P equals to VI. The formulas are P equals to VI or P equals to V square upon R.
हो सकता
P
है b
equals
I square into
I
r.
square R, P equals to EI. These are basically four formulas. It depends on you to which you choose for your numerical. For example, I am choosing
ei लिखा है ना सर, ये ei.
yes EI. So the value I find that if I am taking
वो I square upon r लगा लेते हैं.
yes. So what must be the value? That value depends on two things. Now, what is the value of so basically how many or the what are the different values given? So the value
हाँ सर, जो करंट
for
है वो 0.2 है वो for the
yes
lamps.
for lamp is 0.2 into the 6.
और resistance 30.
Yes, 30 or 6.
Resistance
Yes.
नहीं सर 30 थी
No, resistance like
lamps.
voltage.
सॉरी v यूज कर रहे हैं इसमें. ओके,
So it
तो
must be
रेजिस्टेंस भी थी गिवन थी लेकिन, पर ओके नेवर माइंड.
okay. You can use any formula. It
हाँ
depends
लेकिन
on
सर मैं
you. It
आप ही को
totally
फॉलो करो फिलहाल.
it totally depends on you. It totally depends on you. Now there must be two or the connections of lamps are two, so there must be a multiple that is two. And the second one is the voltage equals to 0.50, and the value is I think the value is 12.
into
So,
2 नहीं या फिर ये होगा.
so this value must be
No, never
0.
mind, let me just calculate it first.
0.2 into 6 into 12. So this must be 0.2 multiplied by 12 upon 0.5 multiplied by
0.4 हो रहा है ये.
12. So this must be 0.4. So I use this P equals to VI, the basic formula. You can use V square upon R. It depends on you. Clear, Abdullah?
Yes sir.
Okay. I'm going to raise it.
कर दे sir.
Now for part D, the resistance basically is R is now replaced by another resistance of lower resistance. State and explain the effect if any. So
सर देखिए, the power, the ratio will decrease because the power ratio will decrease because the voltage has decreased,
okay, then
so has the resistance.
now current basically increases. Okay,
Hmm.
current in the
Yes.
battery increases, so power also increases. Just a minute. I increases, that's why the power increases. So this is the logic. Okay.
Yes sir.
Okay. Now this is the end of chapter number question number 6. Now the question number 7. So there is a nuclear reactions that neptunium 237 emitted 5.5 mega electron of energy. So calculate the number of protons, and this is the same question that
Number of protons are 93 SK.
yes.
Or number of neutrons are 237 minus 93. Let me check.
Now how to we have to find the number of protons of not naphthalene for X.
तो x के लिए निकालने हैं.
Yes, definitely. So how to find? So there must be uh, helium nuclei. That is alpha. Alpha means helium nuclei, but we don't know how many moles of helium nuclei, and there is a emission of energy too. So how to find this? This basically is having two charge here. Helium has two positive charge, so the charge basically must be equals to 95. What will be the mass? So mass is basically is the critical part. So how to find the mass? Mass is just a minute, 237. Helium nuclei having mass equals to 4. So it must be 241. Is this clear or not?
Yes, sir.
So 241.
95.
So there must be mm, some 241 is the total, and there must be, we have to minus our atomic mass. Okay, for atomic mass we have to subtract our atomic number, that is 95. So it must be what is the value? 241 minus 95.
Just a second. So 95 कैसे आया?
Yes, how to find? Basically, Abdullah, naphthalene is naphthalene having charge 93, and alpha mean helium nuclei. Helium have charge 2 positive.
Oh, समझ गया, मतलब वो इसका आइसोटोप था X.
Yes, alpha
सॉरी, क्वेश्चन समझ नहीं आया सही,
helium
पढ़ा नहीं था
nuclei.
सही से.
So 241 minus 95,
146 हो गया. न्यूट्रॉन्स.
146. So number of protons equals to 146, and number of neutrons equals to, sorry, number of protons equals to 95, and number of neutrons equals to 146. This is neutron number basically. Okay, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now explain the energy transmitted to alpha particles. So what is the energy? Basically, it has kinetic energy. So the basic answer, if there is any question related to the energy, the answer is kinetic energy at any time. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now part C. Calculate the average current produced by the beam. So how to, what is the basically the relation? The general formula is I equals to N Q upon T. So what is the value of N? So N value is uh, that is 6. This is here given 6.9 into 10 raised power 11 into the value of Q. Q is basically is the charge. So we have to find the alpha particle. Alpha particle has two electrons, two positive, two one
Positive
electron
electron.
volt. So how to find 1 electron volt equals to 1.6 into 10 raised power
Minus
minus 19 coulomb.
hmm.
1 electron volt. So charge equals to 2 into 1.6 into 10 raised power minus 19 coulomb, whole divided by the time given is 30 seconds. So divide by 30. Kindly find it.
Yes, sir. So 7.4 into 10 raised to power minus 9 ampere.
7.4 into 10 raised power minus 9 ampere. Okay, this is the value of I. So this is the answer of this question. Now for the determine the total power in watt. So how to find total power in watt?
P equals VI.
No, for this one, the formula is P equals to, just I have to write, P equals to the 1.9.6 basically is the value of N into the value that is, just a minute, the value given here that the energy released, what the value of energy released is 5.5 mega electron volt. So this is the
Hmm.
energy released E. This n mean Abdullah that is decay time, okay,
Yes.
or the decay of the nuclei occurs into the value of that is 1 electron volt whole divided by the time. So this is basically the power formula. So P equals to what the value of n is, it's 6.9 into 10 to the power 11. What the value of is, that is 5.5 mega. So mega means 5.5 into 10 to the power 6 into the value of I is 1 electron volt is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 divided by the time. Time is 30 seconds. Kindly calculate it.
So ये आखिरी हो गया, इसके बाद I'm off.
This is the last question. So the value
So
I
अगली
find
बार थोड़ा
is
जल्दी start करेंगे sir.
0.020 watt. This is the answer. So this is the end of the paper number 9702 slash 23 AS and A level physics paper.
Okay sir, अब मैं quit कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है? अल्लाह हाफिज़. लो सोना भी है किसी को रूम में अब.